they'll send you like an assessment when you apply for the jobs. Like you actually have to take a test.
You have to take a test to get a job?
Yeah, because they want to see your skills, right? So at least like I know they could pay like 200, 300K. I'm not sure, but it's like more than just like 100.
This is my childhood friend Anita. We grew up together, and if I'm being pretty blunt, we both ended up being pretty high achievers. I ended up getting into some pretty good schools for film, and Anita got into some of the best schools in the nation for tech.
This girl is insane. She's dominating the STEM industry. She got into like MIT, Berkeley, like, you know, a bunch of like really good schools for tech. And she got into USC, which is why we're wearing our shirts. So we wanted to do a little video today to talk about how we earn money, because we both have a variety of different jobs in our industries, how stable it is for each industry. For this first section, I want us to talk a little bit about our first jobs, how we made money from that, how that experience is probably going to like shape what kind of jobs we're gonna get in the future. Do you want to start? Because I actually don't know what your first job was.
So I technically have 2 jobs. Like, okay, so one of them was a tutoring job that I had. It was like part-time, obviously, like only like 2 hours a week. And I did that for like 4 years, like all of my high school. And I tutored this girl in math, school level math, and like also introducing her to like slightly like more advanced math topics to prepare her for future math classes. My first like official job was an internship that I had at L3 Harris Technologies. It's like a government contractor. They do like Navy like ships and technology and things like that. I was a mechanical engineering intern, which is strange because I'm not like an actual mechanical engineering major, but I did engineering in high school. So my internship was in my summer of 11th grade, and that was like my first like work. I had like a cubicle and like, you know, was working on like actual like work for like an actual company.
Wow. See, that seems so very work, you know?
Yeah, it's
like a job.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like, okay, so as you guys know, my first job was just working on Bunk'd and everything, and I was really young. I was like 11. I never like really thought like, of course I was like professional and stuff, but it was more like, when you think of a job, when you think of work, it's like cubicle and like doing documents and stuff, and I never did any of that, and it was just like me acting.
It's like more like enjoyable. Not to say like mine wasn't enjoyable, but it's like more like you're not sitting down in front of a computer like working. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know exactly what you do, but like obviously you're not just like sitting there doing the same thing all over again. It's like more like diversity of things you do, I guess. Like you practice your lines and
practicing lines, like doing blocking, taking notes. Like it was like work in the sense that like I had to like take those notes and like make sure I'm on my like top game, but it felt less like a job. I have a lot of assumptions about like what you guys do in STEM and engineering and how you guys make money. Okay. I'm gonna go through those assumptions right now. You can tell me if it's true or fake, and you can do the same thing to me after with making money in the arts. My first assumption is that getting a degree automatically makes getting a job easier for you, because for me, like, having a degree doesn't automatically mean having, especially a film degree, like, you need to like work and like make those connections and know people and like get things going. But for you, I feel like you can just show up at like some company and be like, look at my degree from Berkeley, hire me. And they'll be like, oh, you have a nice degree, we'll hire you. Is that how it works?
I think it's definitely easier to get a job if you have a degree in the STEM fields. I think it depends on the specific field in engineering. So like if you're like mechanical engineering or like biomedical engineering, those require a lot more education. So like a lot more training, and companies definitely want to see like that you've committed to that education. But I think I'm majoring in electrical engineering and computer science. So like for the computer science end of it, I think a lot of people these days are getting like computer science trainings from online courses and things like that. And so in that sense, having a college degree is not as like guaranteed that you're gonna have a job. Because there's a lot of people that are having that education.
Wait, so what matters more than like your experience?
I think it because like for a lot of interviews,
like your resume, like what you've done,
like your projects and your experiences, but they'll also like for these for CS jobs specifically, like software jobs, they'll send you like an assessment when you apply for the jobs. Like you actually have to take a test.
You have to take a test to get a job?
Yeah, because they want to see your skills, right? So at least for like my experiences, like for like the jobs that I'm applying to, I've been getting a lot of, and I know that like it's very common.
Have you been taking those tests?
I've been like trying to practice for those tests.
Dang,
those,
bro,
like,
that's scary.
It's kind of like Khan Academy for like SAT. Like you can find these websites to help you practice for those tests.
Wow, you know, this whole time in high school, I'm like, why am I taking these stupid tests? Like, and for your job, you actually have to take tests. Like that's so weird to me.
It's like kind of like a first date. They want to like, before they actually take the time to interview you, I assume they want to say like you have a good score on the test before they say, okay, it's worthwhile to interview this person. They're not just like randomly applying.
Wow, all those tests were like preparing you for something.
Yeah.
Not me though. And also like the computer science, like it matters more like what you've already done and what's on your resume. That also applies more to like the arts. Like it matters more like what you've already done than like a degree or anything.
Yeah, I would say what matters about a degree is like the fact that you have the degree means that you probably have connections from your school. You have like alumni, you have peers that have worked
So connections do matter with STEM.
I think so, because like when like big companies or like companies that are like really popular, they have so many applicants, right? It's hard to like get like your foot in the door with. Yeah, I feel like having that degree, it's not necessarily the degree itself, but it's the fact that you went to a school with like students that like maybe have a history of going there or of working at that company, or maybe recruiters are going to that school looking for students specifically. That makes it easier, not necessarily the degree itself. It's for CS specifically, like there's like so many students, like especially at Berkeley. I think if you walk around and see an Asian male, they're probably a science major. So like that just gives you an idea of like how big
The competition
applicant pool is. Yeah.
My other assumption is that you will be making a lot of money later in life because you're a STEM major. You'll like get out of high school and you'll like have 6 digits already, like making 6 digits like right after, not high school, college, like once you leave.
I think so. I think like that's not like the norm necessarily, but like it's not
not normal.
It's not normal. Yeah, like I think a good proportion of people will leave college and have that job. Actually, like I know jobs that like pay more than that. Like there's like finance companies like pay a lot, and like I know like super stressful, so I don't know if I'd want to work there myself personally, but like I know they could pay like 200, 300k. I'm not sure, but it's like more than just like 100k, which is like still a lot. But I think that assumption is generally true.
Do you have any assumptions for me?
I do actually. Okay. I don't really talk about my like academic, professional, whatever with Nina, but Nina talks about like what you're doing with me sometimes. So I have an idea. So I like to think that some of my assumptions are correct. Okay, but we'll just go for it, right? So I feel like one thing, I remember you told me a lot about like going to a lot of auditions in high school and like not getting them or like not hearing back. Is it true that like you like once you get a job like and it's like it's good, right? But it lasts you for like years or months, and after that you have to find another job, and like it's very hard to get that next thing. Is that true? Like you're gonna have time between projects that like not necessarily you want time between projects, because like you have to find the next thing. Is that...
Yeah, that's like one thing. I think there's like less job security with this, but like if you're talking about acting specifically.
Yeah.
I've like heard this saying like auditioning is a full-time job, and it is. Like you put in so much effort to audition. It's really unpredictable. You will have like a long period of time where you just like don't have any jobs, or you get a job right after like a big project or something. So it just depends on like, sometimes there's just no roles for you. Like nobody's writing something for your demographic and your like your age and stuff. But I will say though, like I've had like long periods of time where I didn't work, also because like I decided to like focus less on acting. If you put like 100% of your effort into auditions, like you're more likely to get the auditions, of course. But I was like splitting that up with like school, like trying to get into college and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that also explains it. But there's definitely less job security. There's no guarantee that you will have a job, especially with acting. I feel like maybe screenwriting is like a little better.
So when did you stop auditioning like consistently?
I do every like audition my manager like sends me.
Okay.
But it's just like you don't see the behind the scenes of it. There's like callbacks, and you made it to the last round and then you didn't get it, and then there's this and that. Like there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Like the only thing people see is like, oh, you got this part, or oh, you didn't get this part. So I still audition for everything that I can.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like with like getting a job in your industry, it's just like there's that security of getting that job because of your experience. Like what you've done like matters, but with acting specifically, it could just be like you could have so much experience in everything, but they could just be like, you just don't look like the part to me, and like that could be like a film. Yeah. So it's not entirely like your skill set and what you've done.
This is not an assumption, more so like a question about like being in like an influencer and like having influencer. And do people directly contact you through your manager, and your manager like filters through the ones that you're interested in?
I think Anita was like curious about this because like right before this video I was like writing up an ad, doing my influencer thing, like writing up a post, like coming up with something for this campaign. Yeah, so these companies, they like because I have like a big social media following from like all my acting jobs and stuff, like I'm able to be an influencer because I have all those followers, and I take advantage of that because I need to pay for college. But these big companies, so they reach out to me, but I tell them to go through my manager because I don't know how to deal with them. I don't know how to be like the
negotiation.
He does all that stuff. I don't have a business degree. I don't have like any of that. Like I don't know. Maybe I'll take a business class here or something. Marshall. But like, yeah. Like they go through like my manager because I'm scared to be the one to be on the phone and be like, I need a little more money than that. I can't do that. I'm like a child.
Good. So do you like tell your manager like how much money you want proposed, or is it just like,
no, I don't do it. He does it based off of the data, like the numbers. If I had like less followers,
fair, like how much you should be making, not like trying to get as much as possible.
He crunches the numbers, like with her amount of following she should be making this much, or like for one post it should be this much. He does all that. Like I don't dabble in that.
That's good. Obviously we like people like us don't have managers. Like there's obviously like advice,
for you it's just kind of like, here's your money.
Like you can negotiate it, but like for us it's more just like, hey, like this is how much I got paid for like a past role, like that was my wage, and I think that like this position will challenge me more, or like require more of my experience, and like I'm at a different place now.
For us, because a lot of like creative, like artistic people, we're just the artists. Like all we can do is like make the art. We don't dabble in business at all, or like some of us like, you know, we like didn't go to like college to like maybe you at college, like at STEM, maybe you'll have classes where they'll talk about like how you can negotiate for money or something. Maybe they'll mention it, like prepare you a little bit. But like some of us, like all we've done is like acting, so that's why we have like these people to help us be like the middleman. So for this next section, I want to talk a little bit about college internships. So for STEM, it's just like a college internship at some like big company and stuff, and you like do your computer science stuff. you just do your coding. You just do your thing in the cubicle and stuff, like you said. What kind of internships do you think that you personally will be taking?
You pretty much hit it. Like I'm probably gonna be like probably gonna be doing those like you know, coding jobs. I'm like interested in like data science right now, so that's like I guess like just like your typical like tech industry that you could be interested in. I know for STEM and like specifically for CS, getting an internship in college is like very common.
Is it easy or is it hard?
Okay, I don't think it's easy, but it's common. So like there's a lot of like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, you know, all of these companies have programs for freshmen or for
It's really convenient for you because they're all in Silicon Valley and you're at Berkeley.
And so like, I mean, it's still very competitive because these are like huge companies and they don't like take, you know, all of the applicants obviously, or like not even close to all of the applicants, but it's like definitely accessible to have internships. So there's like, I think most people would want to work at a big tech company in college. That's just like a really good experience to have. But even if you can't get into those, there's also like, you know, smaller tech companies and startups. Startups are a really good way to get experience. I know people get internships at startups, sometimes not paid, sometimes paid, but just getting experience, like working in a fast-paced environment, like on projects that are actually going to be used in the real world and like implemented in the company. People do that, and I would say those three are like the main like categories of internships that you can do.
Wait, what do you do at your internship? What do you do? You're interested in data science, like what? I know you said the cubicle with the thing, but like what is it?
This is like my last week of an internship that I'm working at as a data analytics intern. Okay, a lot of it's under NDA, non-disclosure agreement, because it's like it's for the U.S. Navy, so I can't.
Oh my God!
So I can't like expose a lot, but it's like obviously I'm working at home, and you know we just get like projects and like things to work on.
You analyze the data to make the technologies better for the Navy?
We analyze, in my case, we're analyzing data to help the Navy make better decisions about their practices.
You have such an important job.
It's like, I'm not like deciding like...
You're not deciding, but you're contributing.
I'm contributing, and I can't like get super into it.
NDA.
Yeah, it's, you like, I have teammates, which is really nice, so we can like bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
And it's not like, hey, like write this thing to do this exact thing. It's a little bit more open-ended. Like you have to decide like what makes a good decision. So it's not just like, oh, this is the goal. It's like, how can we decide like what decision is good? And like, so it's not just like strictly coding, right? It's like thinking about like the problem itself in like a real world context, which is pretty cool. That's what I like about like data science. Like,
I did not do well on those math problems on the SAT. Like there's a real world problem. There's a word problem for you. Like how are you gonna address this math thing?
Yeah, it's kind of I guess it's kind of like that. It's like I enjoy these types of things, so yeah, I like how like when numbers, like you see things in the real world and like the numbers connect to, you know, business decisions or just like decisions of an organization. Very cool. Yeah, so what type of internships do you think you're gonna be doing?
I was so confused. Like I get like there's like film internships, you can be like a production assistant or stuff, but I was like for screenwriting specifically, like what can you even do? Like what internships are there? And I was talking to like this sophomore girl who is a screenwriting major at USC. Ooh. And she says that like the most common type of internship for us for screenwriting is like we can get hired at this company and there's a lot of scripts and we read through all of them and we just decide whether they're good or not. Like these scripts go through rounds just like actors go through rounds for auditions. So we're basically like these scripts are sent to the company, like they're auditioning to be like made into a movie. And I'm like the first person that reads them and goes like, this is bad, low-key. It was really cool because I was talking to that girl and she was like, when you think about it, every big blockbuster movie that did well or like big Hollywood movie, a young screenwriting intern like us were the first ones to be like, hey, this is pretty good. So that's like the kind of internships that I'll be taking, I guess.
What's the title of that? It's like a screenwriting intern?
Yeah, I'm just a screenwriting intern.
So as a screenwriting intern, you won't be doing writing, you'll be doing reading.
Yeah. So that's cool. At least they trust us enough to be like, this is good, this is bad. Like they trust our judgment. Yeah. There's like a huge jump between like being an intern and being on a writing team. So I'm not sure what happens in between, but I assume like there has to be like some other like screenwriting internships besides just reading the scripts. I assume I'll be doing that at some company. But yeah, if I approve the script, then I guess like next it goes on to like, oh, let's call the writers in. And then the network will like talk to the writers. Maybe the writers can pitch something. And then if they like the pitch, they'll be like, hey, let's make it into a movie. But if the network, let's say like Netflix or something, they're like the executives are listening and then they're like, they explain the script, but then they explain it badly, they're like, no. Yeah, okay. So, we just like filter it through the first round. Let's do our final points. Do you think you rely on your talent and creativity more to earn money or your academic background and connections to earn money?
I think that I will probably rely on my academic background and connections to get the job probably.
But you'll rely on
to do well in the job and to like continue like rising and like, you know, like get promotions and things like that. We'll definitely be relying on my own skills that I've gained through my education.
I think I'm the same. People always say a film degree is like useless and like
really?
But at USC it's not. Or like the connections will really help with like getting the job and stuff. But it depends on you and your talent. Like if I write a bad script, I write a bad script.
Yeah. Just because like you graduated from Harvard doesn't mean you're automatically gonna do good at your job, right? You might just get a great job because like you do well in the interview and like people are impressed by you, but like it doesn't mean you're gonna be set
I can get a really good job like writing for a show or something, but my writing can turn out bad even if it's for like a big show. Riverdale, you know, like sometimes it just happens. I joke about Riverdale so much. Like I'm always like, sometimes I'm like, maybe I won't be a good writer in the industry, but then I'm like, you know, the writers for Riverdale got hired, so I think I have hope. Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
Check out our USC video on my channel.
Oh yeah, we just filmed another video where we talked about like how we got into USC and stuff. So check that out too. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of our points. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.